Last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers had an instant star in George Pickens, one we raved and craved about. Who's the next George Pickens this year? What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackbine. Thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalkers. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. Today, we are talking about the Steelers' next instant sensation. Last year, I came on here and I said George Pickens is going to be a star, if not one already. People got upset, and I always listen. When somebody tells me, or when all of you tell me to slow my roll, calm down, don't jump the gun, I think, okay, that's a good point. You're right. But with George Pickens, it was different. You knew instantly who George Pickens was. Nobody on the roster said anything negative about this guy. All they kept talking about was, oh, it's the insane body control I have never seen before. And this guy has a catch radius that does not exist elsewhere in the NFL. George Pickens is unheard of, an alien, not from this world. All reviews that George Pickens got from his teammates and his coaches, not just me, but you saw it instantly. You immediately knew that the Pittsburgh Steelers had somebody special in their second round wide receiver. And he was just a rookie, and it was just OTAs. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't a time of the year where stars are born. But you knew what was going on. So who's this year's George Pickens? Who is the Steelers' instant star? Who is the guy that is turning heads that the Pittsburgh Steelers already know is going to be something special? And at this point, there's not really a wait. It's just, when is he ready to shine? The immediate name that everybody wants to talk about is Corey Trice, a dude who's coming up with plays, who a lot of people right now look at as somebody who can make their way into the starting lineup by the end of the season. I don't really view it the same way. I see Corey Trice as a great building block, a piece that the Steelers can use and look at as the future, because they've never had that. They haven't had in years now a corner that they could say, let's develop him into something special. They have Joey Porter Jr., who's already supposed to be something special, who they believe has that special talent in him, and there's a difference. I talked to Joey Porter yesterday, and I talked to Corey Trice yesterday about them getting to know each other. Joey has the understanding that he is where he is, that his expectations this season are to start and to impress and to make an impact on the roster. Corey Trice's expectations this season are to make the team, to look at it like, I got to do what I got to do to make the 53-man roster, to make sure that I have a job because I'm a 7th-round draft pick. Those expectations are different. The mindset's different. You could tell in Corey Trice, talking to him, that he is focused on just making sure that he is the best player possible. Joey Porter Jr. is making sure that he could click with this team and click with Corey Trice and everybody else, because he understands that he is the building block. Corey Trice is hopefully the second block to build with him. So I don't necessarily see Corey Trice as an instant star. Did he make good plays? Yes. I was asked the other day if those plays were against the first team. I could tell you this. Nobody said that it was against the first team. Everybody just said he made good plays at the end of practice. Take that as you will. The instant star, I believe, and I think I'm getting a little bit out of the rookie realm because I am, but I think you could still somewhat classify this guy as a rookie, is Calvin Austin. Obviously. The dude is burning Patrick Peterson. He's showing off that he still has that 4.2 speed even after a foot surgery, that the injury last season only helped him. It did not hurt him, that he is going to return stronger than ever. And I know that that is a phrase that everybody uses and it only works half the time. But with Calvin Austin, you're seeing early that it's working. He's impressing. Kenny Pickett is thrilled to have this guy as part of the offense. Matt Canada is thrilled to have this guy as part of the offense. The team in general cannot wait to see what this guy brings to a football field in August and September and October, because right now he's already balling. He is everything that the Steelers wanted him to be a year ago, a year into his NFL career, and he put that effort in. I think that's the biggest thing here, is he put the effort in to make sure that when he did return, he was ready to ball. He was at the facility all the time. Every time I showed up at that facility, I dapped up Calvin Austin. Said, "What's up? How you been?" And he goes, "Grinding, man, working, all the time." That's somebody who's ready to be back from injury and used it in motivation in the right way. That's somebody who could turn into a star, a year two star. I get it. But really, this guy didn't play. If this was the NBA, this is rookie rules. This guy could still win an MVP, a rookie of the year, the whole nine. And I think that he's the guy right now. Now, you could go both ways with this. And I'm a fan of Calvin Austin's. Big one. But last year we made a big deal about Najee Harris's thighs and, man, this guy's going to be a monster and might be the best running back in the NFL, so on and so forth. Didn't turn out that way. And injuries definitely hurt him, but you can only blame so much on injuries. And I think Najee is a starter in the NFL. I think he's one of the best running backs that the Pittsburgh Steelers could have. I think that his ceiling is still huge. I think that he's dealt with some very unfortunate things when it comes to his offense, who he's playing with, and wasn't really given the best road in the NFL. You know, you look at guys all the time. San Francisco, the Steelers' week one opponent, is trying to deal with, is Sam Darnold a bust, or has he had zero chance in the NFL so far because he's worked with just scrubs, coaches, offensive coordinators, players around him? And you got to look at Najee Harris in the same light. The dude's worked with a terrible offensive coordinator, a terrible offensive line up until last season. And even last season, the Steelers showed this offseason that wasn't good enough. It wasn't where they want it to be. He's 2 years into the league. He's been banged and bruised. So I still expect Najee Harris to be great, but we looked at him last year and said, this guy's going to be phenomenal, and he wasn't. You looked at Gunnar Olszewski, an OTA's hero, a minicamp hero, and all I kept hearing from the New England fan base was, this guy disappears once the season starts. Trust me. And I said, no way. There's no possible way. Gunnar Olszewski is open every single day, every single play. This guy is going to be a menace. I cannot believe that he didn't get offensive reps. I cannot believe that New England didn't find a home for this guy or a role for this guy on offense. And then training camp rolled around and he slowly dimmed out. And then the season came around and he just completely dimmed out. And you thought, everybody was right. And you hope Calvin Austin isn't that guy. You hope Calvin Austin isn't the OTA's minicamp hero who's burning everybody because he's the fastest guy on the field and he's always open. But in the words of Danny Smith, little guys take big hits. And you got to be worried about those big hits with Calvin Austin, who is easily the smallest guy on the field at all times. But if we're going to judge off of who is the next George Pickens, who is the guy that you look at right now and feel really, really good about, who is the guy that fans should be excited for, who is the guy that could be a playmaker on this team in 2023 that they did not have in 2022. People are going to bring up Corey Trice. People are going to bring up Joey Porter Jr. People are going to bring up Darnell Washington, who's already taken very impressive reps as well, who spoke yesterday about his boxing career. And I think that only juiced me up more about a guy who's 6'7", 250 pounds of pure muscle. That this guy's got moves because he stings like a butterfly and he floats like a bee at 6'7", 250. But Calvin Austin is the one that has been showing out and impressing everybody and getting the high remarks. And the guy that if you're going to rave about one person, if somebody said, Noah, pick one name that I should be very excited for on the Pittsburgh Steelers this season, judging strictly off of what you've seen and what people have said about him through OTAs, I would say that answer is Calvin Austin. And I would say if we were picking the next George Pickens, the next guy that you should feel is the next X factor for the Steelers. And don't get me wrong, George Pickens is going to be an even bigger monster in 2023. That's just the natural progression of the NFL. Somebody with that type of stardom, that type of capabilities, that type of playmaking just in their blood, they're only going to be impressive. They're only going to continue to get better. George Pickens is going to be a monster. But if I had to take the next up-and-coming star, the next name to watch the next guy that I think changes things for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, I'm picking Calvin Austin.